Hello, my name is Alejandro Ramirez Limas. I am the solutions architect for the solicitation management system sponsored by the Washington State Department of Commerce. In this video, we'll walk you through the step-by-step process of reviewing a funding opportunity application that has been assigned to you. Once you've logged in, after reading the disclaimer and agreeing to it, choose Agree and Enter. From the reviewer's portal, choose Assigned Applications. From the Assigned Application page, you will see any funding opportunity applications that have been assigned to you. In the various columns, you will notice important information regarding the funding opportunity application, including the RFX title, when the application was submitted, who is the assigned reviewer, which will show your name, when this was assigned to you, what is the review due date, and whether or not you have completed the scoring and the total score. Once you have read these details, press the epsilon and choose Go to Scoring Page. The scoring page will load all items required to complete your scoring, including information regarding the funding opportunity that relates to the application you are scoring. At the top, you will see the type of funding opportunity, the RFX number, the RFX title, and the coordinator, as well as who is the assigned reviewer, this will be you, and the review due date. In the middle of the screen, you will see the weights of each item that requires a score. You will also notice sections called Response Attachments and Solicitation Attachments. Using these links, you may download any of the documents that are either submitted by the applicant or the main funding application document, as well as its addendums in case you need them in your local computer. As you scroll farther down, you will notice on the left side of the screen is the funding opportunity, and on the right side of the screen, you will see the submission by the applicant, as well as the place where you may enter the scores that the applicant will receive for his funding opportunity application. As you scroll farther down, you will notice on the left side of the screen the funding opportunity, on the middle of the screen the submissions by the applicant, and on the right side of the screen the column where you can submit the scores as well as any notes that go with your scores. To modify the look of any of these documents, you will either have a view with an epsilon or all of your menu options will be shown on the bar. In order to increase the view of this document, press on the epsilon and press Fit to Width. You may do the same for this document by choosing this icon. If you need to have a full screen, simply press Open in New Tab for the scoring, and this will give you a new tab for the scoring options. If you have downloaded the documents, you may use this in order to have a full screen for your scoring method. At the top, you will also see a Print Scores button. You may use this to print the scores in order to keep them as a reference. For the purpose of this video presentation, we will use the integrated tools to grade the funding opportunity and provide scores for it. To begin, you will need to understand what it is that you're assigning scores to and what you're assigning scores for. On the left side, where you see the funding opportunity documentation, you may navigate to this document by opening the navigation bar or simply scrolling through the document. We're going to go through proposal contents. Under the proposal contents, you will notice the items that are required to be submitted by the applicant. In this case, we see that there's a letter of submittal required, that there's a technical proposal required and that it will be scored, a management proposal, or a project management requirement, and it will also be scored, related information, and this is mandatory, references, which are also mandatory. On the middle of the screen, we will be able to see what the applicant submitted. For both options, there is a drop-down menu that will give you the ability to see if there are multiple documents that are in play so that you can switch between them. In this case, we're going to look at what the applicant submitted. Within the applicant submissions, we see that there are 6 items. We start with the letter of submittal, then the certifications and assurances, then the technical proposal, management proposal, cost proposal, and then more certifications. Each application received that you will be scoring is going to look different. The naming conventions utilized are independent of each other. Thus, what you see here will be based on what the applicant submitted, and they may have named their documents differently. To be fair to every applicant, be sure that you review all of the content submitted by the applicant to ensure that they have submitted all of the requirements, and although the documents may be named differently, their content should include what is required through the funding opportunity. If you find that there is information missing, before providing a 0 to the applicant, ensure that you verify with the coordinator if this information is not found or if it's found in a different section. Use your best judgment to be fair to every bid that is submitted for this funding opportunity. Now to the scoring process. We're going to go back to the proposal contents, and we're going to see that the letter of submittal, which is mandatory, and here we see that the letter of submittal was provided. The first item that we're going to look for after this is going to be certifications and assurances, which is mandatory. So here we can see that item number 2 from this applicant is called certifications and assurances. If we go to the document, this will reload this page after a few moments, and then you will be able to see whether or not this was submitted by the applicant. In this case, we see that the applicant submitted it. So now we know that they have met this mandatory requirement. The next item we're going to be going through under the proposal contents is going to be the technical proposal, and this is going to be scored. So here we're going to see if they submitted it independently, which in this case they did, and it is called technical proposal. Once we navigate to this page, we will see what the applicant has submitted. So at the very top, we can see that they submitted a technical proposal, and it includes a project approach and methodology and other sections. Once you complete a review on the technical proposal and everything that is included with it, provide the applicant with a score. In this case, I'm going to give this applicant a score of 2, and I'm going to say the project approach did not meet required expectations. The applicant failed to provide a timeline that would indicate the project would be completed within the required timeframe. This description is complete and is indicative that the applicant failed to meet the requirement, and thus he is receiving a score of 2 because while he did submit something, it was just not good enough. Thus, we provide him a score of 2 and we give a description why the score was given. Remember that every applicant has the ability to submit a grievance if they do not receive this bid. So be sure to provide information for your score decision in order to ensure that the applicant feels treated fairly. And this allows each and every applicant not only to complete their application process, to feel that they were treated fairly, but also to improve upon their application for future funding opportunities. This will improve on the quality of the applications that are submitted by the same applicant. Go through all the scores and use the same methodology. Provide a score for each individual item and then provide notes related to what the applicant has submitted and the score that you provided. Once you complete grading the application and you have added everything that is required, including the cost proposal scores, press score is completed and press save. Once you press save, you may go back to the assigned applications to see the status update of the application. Here we see that the scoring was completed and the total score of the applicant. If you need to come back and change something within this funding opportunity application score, you may simply press the action menu and then go to the scoring page. Once the page loads, you will notice that it may take a few seconds for everything to load. Please be a little patient. In this case, we're going to look and see that the right certification was provided, as we see here, under the certifications that are given, but the applicant did not receive the score. So because we need to modify this, we're going to scroll down to scoring status, and we're going to say that it's not complete. Then we're going to go back to the section that we need to modify, which in this case is the workers' rights certification. We will give the points. Then we will go back down, say that scoring is completed now, and we're going to press save. Once the page reloads, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you will notice that their missing score is now in place and that the score has changed. And this completes the steps required to score a funding opportunity application. Thank you for watching.